interested in seeing people become active in their lives and in society. Today, I'm interviewing Christopher Bledsoe, the founder and president of BurialCemeteryFraud.com.
It's nice to be here.
Christopher, what inspired you to create BurialCemeteryFraud.com?
For myself, I feel like we live in a world where it seems that more and more bad things are starting to happen, and more I'm seeing that people are leaning toward this is normal, so we have to accept this. And after looking at different media outlets and doing research online, I started to see all of these horrible things happening with cemeteries.
Bad business practices?
Absolutely. And it was, a situation of bodies are being removed and dumped into landfills. And
From
then,
cemeteries?
yes, and then, these grave plots are being resold, or they're double sold, or people can't figure out where their dead loved ones are, and so much controversy.
Isn't that regulated by the government?
And that was one of the biggest problems. I looked at the situation, and just to know that there is no such regulation for cemeteries. And in reviewing the information and seeing that, we have thousands and thousands of cemeteries, we have thousands and thousands of employees, and it's a $12 billion industry. And all of these things are happening. And I remember hearing one of the ladies, the customer, she said that there was nothing that could be done about this. There's no place to go to. There's no need to even complain about it. And that just touched me. It made me feel like, what's happening to our world here? So many bad things are happening, and we're just saying, okay, fine, we're going to deal with it. And I said, no, we're not going to deal with it. I view death as a very traumatic situation in a person's life. It's something that you have to deal with for the rest of your life. And the last thing you need is to have issues with someone stealing body parts from a cemetery. All type of things happening. So I created BurialCemeteryFraud.com because I wanted a national 1-800 number that people can call and facilitate not just complaints, but also compliments. I want it to be fair to the industry as a whole.
So you're developing a way of rating the whole industry so the consumer can be protected at this vulnerable time.
Absolutely. And sometimes we always look at things in a negative light, and I don't want to be an outlet that I'm out to demonize cemeteries, because I'm not. It's a process that's obviously vital. It's needed, but it's also a process that has to be regulated. And that's my goal, is to shine the spotlight on the cemeteries that are doing wonderful things, the cemeteries that have a reputation for doing good. And the cemeteries that do not have a reputation for doing good, my goal isn't to demonize them. It's to analyze the problems, listen to the people in America, take that feedback, and let's come up with a resolution. Not just a complaint system, not just a bashing on the internet, but let's come up with a resolution. This particular cemetery is getting 50 complaints. Let's approach that cemetery. Let's channel those complaints. Let's get the resolutions for them. Let's solve them. There's a possibility that this cemetery could be a good cemetery one day, or it will have them to come to grips with what they're in the business for.
So it sounds like you're not oriented toward protest so much as solution, ongoing solutions.
Absolutely. I felt when I was creating this company, I said to myself, I could fill up this room with people who have complaints about something, but how many people could I get in this room that have resolutions? And that's what I want to be a part of, advocating and inspiring in America, for more people to have a resolution to a problem. Once I found out that there is no regulations, I immediately less than 24 hours, I created this company because I want regulations to be there. And I'm not going to depend on Congress to do everything. So I immediately formulated and wrote all of the laws that I think should be instituted into Congress to regulate cemeteries. So that's a resolution. I can go to Congress and say, here's the laws that I have written. Take a look at these laws, peruse them, analyze them, and decide what things should be changed or not changed. But we have to move forward and do this. This isn't something that I'm waiting on Congress to do. I'm doing it myself. There should be a certification process. We should have cemetery inspectors, people that can go to these cemeteries, inspect them on a regular basis. Not because we want to police them in a mean, belligerent way, but because we want to have the comfort in America and outside of America that once we approach a cemetery, we're going to have someone who's professional, someone who's going to do a high-quality job, and if a person is buried in a certain grave plot, that's actually where they are 10 years later when they go to visit that grave.
You've already answered much of this particular question, but if I were writing a newspaper article about you, my editor would want me to know who, what, when, where, why, as basic questions the article should answer. Are there any of those questions we haven't touched on?
The who is America. I personally want to go to bed at night knowing that cemeteries are regulated, knowing that if there's an elderly person that's going to start the process of planning her future, in that sense, that there's a regulation system in process, that this person's rights are going to be protected, but by the same token they can feel comfortable with the process. So if we do that in America, which we will, it's just not positive thinking, it's what we're going to do, then that's going to foster cemeteries getting the proper respect that they should have. They should be highlighted. They should be praised. And I came up with them the Cemetery of the Year Award because I want to recognize cemeteries and funeral homes that are doing positive things in America, and the ones that are not, the opportunity for them to fix the problem so that people can feel comfortable with the entire process. And once we have that, then we have a better society. We have a society with one less problem that they have to deal with. I think death itself is a huge concept to deal with, but we shouldn't have to deal with some of the tragic things that we've heard of in the media of bones being found in landfills or in ponds or in oceans, or body parts being stolen, or the defamation of tombstones and nothing happened about it. So although I created this company and I've created all of the resolutions, it's still going to be the camaraderie of America, of people making it happen.
Why at this point in history?
I feel like we have to understand that we do have a president, we do have a government, but by the same token, we have to realize that we don't always have to wait on the government to do everything. And if we do approach the government, let's be the solution. Let's not only approach with the problem, but let's say, here's the solution. And if we do that, then we're working to help make the world a better place. We're not just relying on a group or a person or people to get it done, but we are coming up with the solutions. So I feel that now more than ever, there must be cemetery inspectors in this world. It's not an if, it's not a maybe, it is vital, and it's something that must take place.
Do you expect the government will be helpful in the process?
I feel very comfortable that once the government takes a look at the laws that I've written, they take a look at the institution of the website, the fact that I've created an international 1-800 number that people can call with complaints as well as compliments, and a referral program for whatever expertise they need in that field. It's something that's positive. It's something that should have been done a long time ago, but it's being
question you should be able to answer well. Who is Christopher Bledsoe?
Who is Christopher Bledsoe? You know, I'm a person that has always had a great passion for justice and what's right. And I've always wanted that. This business wasn't set up to make a lot of money. It's set up so that I can meet people like myself that want to make a difference. People that are saying, you know what, that's not right. And we're not going to accept what is wrong. We're going to accept only what is right. And I'll never forget, as a kid, a person said to me, when we stop accepting what is right, then everything goes wrong. And that is one of the things I thought about with this company. We don't have to accept what we see in the media with cemeteries. We don't have to accept the injustice. And until we stand up, which we're doing today with this company, and say, we're not going to accept this. Death is a very, very hard thing to deal with in America and an individual family, and we are going to safeguard the process. We are going to have people that when we say they lay to rest, we really mean they lay to rest. So, not looking for any praise and glory for it, but just the gift that God has given all of us, and that's the ability to affect the world for good. And that's who Christopher Bledsoe is.
Well, I wish you luck.